Well, happy second day of January 2025. Somebody wrote me and said, kind of spelled out the date in numerals and said it adds to a nine. What are my thoughts on that? Uh, well, I'm happy to, have thoughts on that, but uh, I could tell you what generally my thoughts are on anything and actually never arrive at anything productive to say. But anyway, a nine is an end of a series. Okay, so I could interpret that as saying 2025. Okay, it's the end of a cycle. The world is ending. And it would be right for a lot of people. Okay. Uh, anyway, uh, yes, Constance and I really, really slept in a lot because uh, she especially was just kind of exhausted from since Christmas, and I think a lot of people are too. And it's just sort of settling in now. The mail is going to probably start coming back again, and uh, it actually feels like the start of a year, and in many parts of the country, it's the start of a very uncertain, uncertain, and strange and weird way. But I like to think that our little time together is among the least weird of the events of my day. Anyway, I got a an email forwarded through a publisher uh, about the tarot of ceremonial magic. Okay. And all of you know it's sort of my go-to magical tool to help explain stuff. It's a wonderful, for me, it's a wonderful teaching thing for both Kabbalah, magic, and tarot. And here's the latest uh, edition from Magical Omaha. Publishes that at a normal price. Uh, but somebody commented on it because the artwork is, it's not the most beautiful deck in the world. And it was never meant to even presume to be the most beautiful deck in the world. If you want that, I could refer you to tons of other ones whose artwork in itself is magic of the highest degree. But like me and Constance, it's tarot ceremonial magic is sort of a funky piece of magic d'art. Okay. But anyway, the letter was funny because it commented on how funky the artwork was, and how when they first opened the box and looked at the cards, they uh, they were disappointed because the art wasn't up to what they considered the uh, appropriate for tarot. And so he goes through this whole thing, or it's a she, I think, goes through this whole thing about all of the shortcomings of the tarot deck. Not complaining that they spent too much money or anything, because they didn't. Uh, but then they said, "But the little white book." He said, "I learned more about tarot and Kabbalah and how they relate to one another and how they relate to astrology and other forms of uh, hermetic arts and sciences from your little white book. She says, uh, anything I could say about the about the deck is completely nullified by the little white book. Now there's we've got this is my old tattered first edition. There's a real good book, okay, a big full book about tarot ceremonial magic, which really this is like 15 of the little white books on steroids, and that's what she should have been reading. But instead, it was the little white book that gave her all of the most valuable information, and she included it in the letter, which was forwarded for us to sign. Okay, so that was. I'm going to read just a little bit from the little white book. Of course, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it has everything from the general divinatory meanings of the cards to techniques of divination. Is the stuff you would expect from the little white book. But I think what she was really referring to is just kind of the opening words. And here's what it looks like with the new publisher, Next Millennium, which is Magical Omaha. Oh, and it's got little illustrations there. You got your Tree of Life and stuff like that. The new edition has a beautiful color Tree of Life card in it, even in the promotional cards that come with the deck. But anyway, here are the opening words. And the print is really small, so you'll have to excuse me while I try to get enough light to read it. Ceremonial magic has been called the yoga of the West. The goals of both systems are identical: self-mastery, illumination, and spiritual liberation. Each demands discipline, study, practice, and a willingness on the part of the aspirant to persevere tenaciously until these supreme goals are achieved. The yogi does this by systematically withdrawing from and shutting out the outside objective world in order to access a greater subjective internal reality. The magician, on the other hand, endeavors to access this internal reality by projecting it into the outside world and dealing objectively with its mysteries. Do you want to chew on that for a minute? Too bad. We've got to get on with our morning. The Hebrew Kabbalah forms the foundation upon which the Western Hermetic arts, ceremonial magic, astrology, geomancy, tarot, even palmistry, are constructed. Of the above, the tarot is the most perfect representation of the Kabbalistic fundamentals, and it is the common denominator between all the various Hermetic arts. The Hebrew Kabbalah is the common denominator between all the various Hermetic arts. He adds for emphasis. Okay, where am I? Okay, one could even say that the tarot is the DNA of the Kabbalah. Properly decoded, it reveals not only the secrets of Kabbalah, but also the mysteries of all other Kabbalah-based systems. In other words, by learning tarot properly, you simultaneously master the fundamentals of Kabbalah, astrology, and ceremonial magic. And here comes the plug. The Tarot of Ceremonial Magic is the only tarot deck ever created that accurately incorporates key elements of the two most popular and widely practiced varieties of Kabbalah-based magic, the Enochian magic of Dr. John Dee and the Goetia. Each card is also a wealth of additional occult information, including astrological details, tattva meditation symbols, even Yi Ching hexagrams. In the space permitted, we will briefly outline these unique features. Okay, and the rest of the book goes on to do that. And just if ever, I don't know why I don't use the little white booklet on my preliminary lectures on any of these subjects. And as a matter of fact, when I was addressing this letter, I thought, gee, I'm not going to pack up a bunch of shit to take to my lectures. I'm just going to take my little white book with me. For instance, okay, I'm going to start with the trumps. And then I just briefly explained the 22 trumps with their 3 mother letters, 7 double letters, and 12 simple letters of the Hebrew alphabet, all corresponding to that. And then I just outline them just like that. In less than a page, that's taken care of. Okay, and almost so much for the trumps. Just turning the page there, we start talking about the 4 suits. After the trumps, the remaining 56 cards are divided into 4 suits representing the 4 universal elements: wands, fire; cups, water; swords, air; discs, earth. The 5th element, spirit, is represented by the aces. Each of the 4 suits corresponds to a letter of the Tetragrammaton, Yod, He, Vav, He. The great 4-letter name of God, commonly pronounced Jehovah. Each letter and suit also represent one of 4 Kabbalistic worlds. Packing all this into one paragraph here. I tell you, I was smarter back when I wrote this, okay, than I am now. The highest is Atzilith, the archetypal world, wands; Brya, the creative world, cups; Yetzirah, the world of formation, swords; and Asaya, the material world, discs. Then in 3 paragraphs, short paragraphs, I take care of the 16 court cards. And then I move right to the Enochian. There is an exact parallel to the 4 aces and the 16 court cards of the tarot in the Enochian system of magic. In that ancient, powerful system, there are 4 large tablets representing the elements of fire, water, air, and earth. In the tarot, there are 4 aces that serve the exact same function as the elemental tablets. Each elemental tablet contains 156 squares, 12 by 13, upon which letters are inscribed. The letters make up the name of the numerous angelic beings who can be called up or visited by the magician. Oh boy. Should I be cruel? Should I make a New Year's resolution?
Lon and Constance, please leave a message with your name and phone number.
I think I'll be merciful.
And we'll try to get back with you as soon as possible.
Unless it's somebody I need to talk to.
Hi, this is Sophia Wilson. Wilson calling on behalf of Wilkinson and Associates. This is not a solicitation call. This is to inform you that we'll be initiating a cancellation on an account registered under your name. Feel free to call me back on my direct line, 917-590-2889. I'll be in office from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
We'll play that back and see what they're discontinuing some kind of service. Oh, I'm still on.
I know.
Okay. It was garbled, so I'm not sure.
Oh,
So
well, maybe we won't have a landline anymore, so I'm concerned about.
yeah, I don't think well, it may be that we're losing the landline.
To open your door, but I heard that, and I heard you not talking, so.
Okay. Say hello to everybody and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hello to everybody. It's a new day. The sun's shining, and I'm doing laundry and cooking oatmeal with cinnamon and raisins.
Oh boy, oatmeal.
Oh, we only have.
We like oatmeal,
we only
especially
have
when
it-
it's cold like
we
this.
only really have it about 2-3 days a week. if we're lucky.
That's right.
So make a funny face.
Well, that was a little peek into the life of the DuQuettes right there. Where was I before the Enochian angels responded? Oh, each of the elemental tablets contains 156 squares. Okay, it's 12 by 13, upon which letters are inscribed. And the letters make up the name of elemental angels. Okay. Each of the elemental tablets is divided into 4 sections, representing fire, water, air, and earth. So like a little yod-hey, vav-hey inside the yod, and inside the hey, and inside the vav. Okay, so there's 4 tablets, each with miniature yod-heys, vav-heys inside them. Okay. Let me just do this because I want to get through this. And they correspond. Those 4 sections correspond to the 16 court cards. Now, Enochian magic is a magic of visions. Visions are all your own. It's not like you go to Disneyland and everybody sees the different worlds more or less the same. Oh, Frontierland looks like this. No. Your Frontierland looks much different than anybody else's. Okay, your visions are your visions. And when it comes to tarot court cards, and when they pop up in, say, a divinatory reading of some kind, especially when you're reading for yourself, sometimes the court cards are very difficult to interpret. Wouldn't it be nice, wouldn't it be helpful if you could actually project into the world that is represented by, say, the Queen of Discs, and see what that means to you right now? Not what it necessarily means to anybody else, but if you could project into Queen of Discs land, what's the lessons that you need to learn there? Okay. Enochian magic allows you to do that. But I guess I get ahead of myself. Okay, then I go on to talk about the astrological attributions. Should be pointed out that the knights, queens, and princes each rule 30 degrees of the zodiac, from 20 degrees of one sign to 20 degrees of the next. And then it starts to talk about the tattva symbol, fire of fire, water of earth, things like that. Also, astral projection aids, meditative aids, those tattva symbols. Okay. Then I turn the page and we get to the I Ching hexagrams. How those 16 court cards also are 16 of the 64 hexagrams. Okay, all of that in 10 tiny pages so far. I can see now why if you bought a new deck of Tarot of Ceremonial Magic and you opened it up and you got the little white book out and started to read it, and your dog ate the rest of the cards themselves, that this would be worth writing writing me about. Okay, he says arrogantly. Anyway, that's it for today. Constance and I are going to listen to this to see if we're about ready to lose our landline because of modern shit. But we'll see. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.